Yeah, so I'm reading again. I like that thing, reading again. And I like me radioisotope thermoelectric batteries, so I'm reading about them. And it turns out that Russia's got a mass expanse called Siberia. And north of Siberia, there's the Barents, is it called Barents Sea? Yeah, Barents Sea. It's very dangerous, very rocky. And some of the islands out there are in the middle of nowhere, and nobody really wants to be on a lighthouse. So what they do is they set up lighthouses with radio thermoelectric batteries or generators, and obviously they switch themselves on at night and switch themselves off during the day and just sit there, and they do that for decades without having to be serviced. Amazing, isn't it, eh? But in America they decided to use radioisotope thermoelectric generators for pacemakers, and they lost track of the people that are in them. Sorry, the people that had them in them. I mean, in England, I was speaking to someone that works for a Magtron fissile nuclear power station, and the magnesium control rods come out and they get ground down, and then what you do is you get magnesium swarf, which is radioactive basically, and then the guys were taking it home because it's like you put it on a glass jar and it glows at night, and they were getting severe radiation sickness. And that's why you can't have nuclear batteries, and they're absolutely fantastic. A nuclear battery, basically you could get your mobile phone, and this is just an old mobile phone so don't quote on whatever it is, you get your mobile phone which has a light on like that, and the battery lasts on standby about 7-10 days on this particular one because it's very efficient. And talk time's around about 6 hours, 7 hours. Now with a radioisotope thermonuclear generator inside it, you wouldn't have to charge it. Literally, you would not have to charge it unless you were really heavy usage. If you made 3-hour phone call after 3-hour phone calls, then you'd need to leave it to recuperate for a couple of hours to recuperate a little bit because of the way it works. Now, have you got an alarm clock? Is it plugged in? Is it on one of those standby things? Is it one of those things that when you turn it on, it consumes electricity? You've got those electricity meters now, and you've got an alarm clock which is electric, and you don't want a battery one because the battery one's run out. So you have an electric one, obviously. You don't want to be late for work, do you? You don't want to be late for an appointment. Now, if you had a radioisotope thermonuclear generator inside of it, instead of a plug into the mains, for a start, when the mains went down, you wouldn't need a backup battery inside it, one of those little 9-volt batteries, which you never test, so it could be run out and never work anyway. Because it would always work. It would come on in the morning, the radio would be on. You'd clap, and it'd shine the light onto the roof. You know? But you can't have it because it's too dangerous. Because, like I said, you know, the Russian bloke breaks it up and carries it in his rucksack. The American people lose track of who's got the radioisotopes inside them, and they get burnt in crematoriums and people die. The English blokes take it home and have a bit of a laugh and pour it in each other's drinks and all manner of things because you're all complete lunatics. So you can't have radioactive, high energy products making your lives easier, making everybody's lives easier, because you're complete maniacs with each other and then playing practical jokes on each other and having a bit of a banter. And you can understand why in 2012 the human race is still not on the moon, still not on Mars, still not exploring the universe how it should be. Because you can't be trusted with the technology. You can't trust each other. There's too much paranoia and robbing and stealing and tax evasion and too many bad things going on. And then when you get something dangerous, you use it against each other. So what are you going to do? How are you going to prove to your government officials and your leaders that you're responsible? How are you going to do that? How long is that going to take? Is it going to take 50 years? 100 years? 200 years? 500 years? In that time, are you going to get impatient again? Have more riots? Have more protests? Are the leaders going to keep on doing stuff like Ponzi schemes and losing our trust? So we, tic tac, tic tac, tic tac. Upper class against working class, middle class against upper class against class wars. Then you've got race wars. I'm blonde. I get attacked a lot just for being blonde. You're going to end up with, like, you've seen the film Lost in Space, and you've got the sedition. Things like that going to happen. You're going to have this multi-trillion-dollar mega warp experiment ship, which is going to get in a new fantastic world to go and live on, which is too short term anyway, but you're going to have that kind of thing happen, and then you're going to have the sedition undermine it just for the fuck of it. Because they're scared that the God Squad are going to try and set up on another planet, and they don't want the God Squad to do it. Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Scraping knuckles, knuckle scrapers. You know what, the military have got it. The military know they can use it. There's people out there in the military, they get this radio and they're going, oh, bring in airstrike on such and such a coordinate. If the battery runs out, what are you going to do? Their batteries don't run out, they've got them. Their batteries last 20 years. Imagine having your ghetto blaster walking down the street and not having to put batteries in it. Going down and be able to annoy people all night because your batteries don't run out, and not having to go down the shops and buy more all night. You can't do it. Imagine having a bigger version in your car. Being able to drive to work, 50, 100 kilowatt version. And then when you get home, plug it into your house. All these things are possible, but humans can't have them. And it's not a conspiracy, it's because you're all thick.